To the program, the only way to start your day. We've got 34 minutes to the top of the hour, and it's time for us to engage a politician, a member of parliament, to bring us up to speed with conversations that have been forming both the legislative and political agenda in this country. And the gentleman we are privileged to have on set this morning is none other than Honorable David Sankok, member of parliament. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm always fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Always fine.
Always fine.
Always fine.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Yeah.
Just to engage a bit.
Yeah.
On the floor of the House, there are quite a number of issues being discussed.
Yes.
But topical is the question of, do we or do we not amend the Constitution to create executive positions? What's your take on this?
Even before we go to the amending of the Constitution, let me send my sincere and heartfelt condolences to the family of the late Ken Jindo Stanley Matiba.
Sure.
The family, the people of Kiaru, as well as the entire country, because this was a hero of this country. And heroes or legends never die. They only rest in peace. May his soul rest in eternal peace. I'm sure wherever he's resting, he's happy because of the democratic space that he fought for this country. We are now enjoying democracy in this country, courtesy of those who in one way or the other contributed to the second liberation of this country. And for sure, the democratic space in this country have really widened. And that is why someone who can call the president Mtoto wa Umbwa and still walking scot-free in the streets and still being a member of parliament and still contributing on the floor of the House is an amazing thing. I wish these words of Mtoto wa Umbwa will have used in 1980s. Then we'll be singing another different song altogether. But courtesy of the late Kenneth Jindo Stanley Matiba, we are enjoying this space. I only wish that Kenyans will not take this democratic space too far, to length that will infringe into other people's rights. Because you are rights, my friend. Stop at where minds begin. But when you abuse me because you have the right and you have the freedom of speech, your freedom of speech is not a freedom to insult. Your freedom of association is not the freedom of associating on our Thika superhighway. It is a freedom of association, but at a specific area that are meant for association. You cannot say I have freedom of association, so you go today to a public toilet and decide to associate 1,000 of you inside a public toilet, and other people will lack where to use them. You know these freedoms. We have to enjoy this freedom, but with also some question. And now, back to your question. It has been very fun in this country that we really, I don't know if it is the meaning of the word competition that is lacking in our vocabularies or something of the sort. Because what is a competition? What is a contest? It's like what we had in Commonwealth Games. There was 100 meters competition, whereby in this contest, the first one will get a gold medal, isn't it?
Yep.
The winners will always be rewarded. The losers will go empty-handed. That is a contest. That is a competition. If today they said 100 meters, anybody who complete 100 meters will get a gold medal, then I can assure you Sankok will go and compete in Commonwealth Games. Because it doesn't matter how long I will take to complete the 100 meters, as far as I'll get the gold medal. But then the competition, the spirit of competition demands that there must be a loser and a winner. But now, if we now want to come back and amend the Constitution, so that there is no loser, everybody become a winner, so that we create positions for a few individuals who are losers, so that we create a position of a prime minister, so that we don't have a loser in our competition, then it will be the logic of a competition. It will be the logic of a contest.
The people who argue, though, Mheshimiwa, that one of the problems we have in this nation is the system of the winner takes it all during elections. And maybe that's the inspiration or part of the inspiration behind the referendum push.
My friend, you get an A in secondary school, you go and pursue medicine, architecture, you take it everything. You get an E, you go back to the farm because you have been tested and proven that you have nothing you can offer, that your mistakes are too many to be involved in any professional activity. Yes, and that is why you go to the farm, because if you do any mistake in the farm, labda ujikate mugu, na hiyo ni yako, so you will not affect everybody. But if you are a pilot and you perform a certain thing with mistakes, then you have killed everybody on board. If you are a surgeon, then you will have somebody with appendicitis, and then you open the skull. What have happened in Kenyatta recently. So, my friend, there must be a competition. And in a competition, the winners take it all. That is the spirit of competition. So, otherwise, what we'll do, if that is the way Kenyans want, there is no need of going for an election, because spending a lot of money. We can sit on a boardroom, say, okay, Raila Odinga, we see that you are very tough. You become the prime minister. Ruto, you are very tough. Become the president. Wetangula, now you are also not badly off, so become nominee 001. So and so, you can sit down on a boardroom. Why should you then use the money for a contest that there is no winner? For me, I totally oppose the issue that after election year, we consider creating positions to individuals who have lost the election. Then, after creating the position of the prime minister, so that the winner does not take it all, what about the position of a prime governor, so that the governor does not also take it all? What about the position of a prime senator, so that the senator does not take it all? What about the position of a prime MCA, so that they don't take it all?
And talking of taking it all the lack of it, I think we've also seen Ekuru Aukot,
yes,
do a push to have the size of parliament reduced. The hashtag is out there on Twitter, reduce parliament. What's your take on that issue?
In fact, that is what I can support now. Because we have so many jobless youth in this country. The wage bill is exorbitant. We have created positions that I don't know for what. Waheshimiwa wamekuwa wengi kuliko raia ya kawaida. You go to parliament, we are 400 and something. MCAs calling themselves Mheshimiwa, honorable members. CECs calling them honorable members. Everybody, Waheshimiwa wamekuwa wengi kuliko raia. And the name honorable member or Mheshimiwa come with a lot of expenses for the country, for the taxpayer. Because for you to create a position of a prime minister, don't even look at the salary, but look at the chest cars. Look at the office. Look at the officers. Look at the personal assistants. And you know, they will have a personal assistant to the prime minister, a personal assistant to a personal assistant of the prime minister, the political advisor to the political advisor of the political advisor of the prime minister, the political advisor of the wife of the prime minister. You know, all those expenses is what is actually derailing our economy. And that's why, for me, the only way we can go is Ekuru of Okoth, because we will be saving money. But any referendum that will use our money to perform the referendum, and then again use our money to pay the offices that we have created, we are no longer ready to create more positions in this country for the sake of appeasing people. You remember in 2007, after the contest, for us to come together as a country, we must create a position. After creating that position, we ended up having 42 ministers, cabinet secretaries now, which also come with offices, a bloated cabinet. If you create the position of prime minister, he will also come with his own cabinet. So we'll still go back to the bloated cabinet, increasing our burden on our taxpayers. And these taxpayers, we have taxed them so much. They are suffering. They don't have roads. They don't have social amenities. They don't have hospitals. They don't have drugs in the hospital. Instead of thinking of how we can treat our cancer patients here in this country, in every country, county, we are thinking of the loser in the name of Raila Odinga. My friend, he's a Democrat. I respect him a lot. The Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga, I really respect him a lot because he's a Democrat. Just like Matiba, just like the rest, Rikina Rubia, they actually fought for the democratic space that we are enjoying now. But you know, they sacrificed. And they decided to I didn't think that they were fighting so that they can charge Kenyans because of fighting for this democracy. I fought for personal stability in this country, that space of personal stability. But I'm not fighting for them so that I can come and tell them, okay, now pay me back. If that's what was the issue, then the Prime Minister, in 1982, when he started the fight for democratic space in this country, should have told us the price that we have to pay for him to fight for us.
Let's look at the handshake. Let's go to the handshake, Mheshimiwa. And for the very first time in the UK, or from the UK, we had the president talk about it and say that the handshake was meant to do two things. Number one, to fasten the pace of development, because he said it was slowing it down.
Yes.
And number two, to bring the nation together, and that is why he called on the international community to support this particular move, the handshake between him and Raila Odinga, the NASA leader. Courtesy of what the president said yesterday, where do your thoughts lie in as far as that handshake?
You know, of course, he's only a prophet of doom and a witch doctor and a sorcerer who will not support any handshake that will lead to peace. The handshake that I don't support is a handshake that will lead into creation of position and burdening the taxpayers. But for me, this handshake have been something that was the religious leaders were calling upon it. The political leaders, the citizens of this country were saying that we need to come back. Because surely we are draining our economy. All those picketing demonstrations have scared away investors, have scared away donors, have scared away tourists from our country. We have banned our supermarkets. We have killed our citizens, who are our human resource. We have destroyed our economy. So this handshake came at the right time to bring the country together. The handshake was meant to bring the country together and for development purposes and for us to win again donors' confidence, to win again investors' confidence, and to win again the confidence of the tourists who tour our country and contribute to our economy. But it was not meant to be a hand or a handshake check or something that compensating so and so for losing. We don't compensate. We have our soldiers who went to Commonwealth. They came empty-handed. Some of them came with gold medal. So we cannot go to Commonwealth and tell them let us compensate. So, and I want to put a record straight. For those who have come for the handshake, you are all welcome. But as Jubilee, by 20, and I want to put a record straight. For those who have come for the handshake, you are all welcome. But as Jubilee, by 2012 December, we had already had a roadmap and a plan of our presidential candidature. The presidential candidate of 2013 was well known by 2012. The presidential candidate of 2017 was well known. The presidential candidate of 2022 was well known. The presidential candidate of 2027 was well known on December 2012. So already we had a roadmap. So anybody who is joining us, we are highly welcome. Their positions are available. The position of the running mate, the position, my own position of nominee 001 is well available. I can even donate to Kalonzo.
Nominee 001?
Yes, I can even donate to Kalonzo.
Okay.
There is also these positions of majority leader. I'm sure I can talk to Ndwale and Murkomen. We can donate to Mudavadi or whoever who won those positions. As far as they don't even think about it. They don't even think about the presidential candidate or the flag bearer. Don't even go there. That is a live wire. It is in fact a transformer.
The thing is, your message this morning is accept and move on, right? People should accept and move on and we build a country. Sindio.
Exactly,
you have a colleague on the floor of the House talking about Wilson Sossion. You are the chair of the National Council for Persons with Disabilities. Na ukawachilia, sindio?
Yes.
Right? And now you are serving in your role as nominated member of parliament. What can you advise, or what's your advice to Wilson Sossion this morning?
By the way, Wilson Sossion will be advised by the teachers, because those are the people he represents.
As a colleague.
But on my own, no, he is not my colleague because he's from ODM, I'm from Jubilee. So, but there is a handshake. So, in the spirit of handshake. So my brother, what I can talk about is my own side. On May 2017, I retired voluntarily from the National Council for Persons with Disability. Because once, from the support the government had given me, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and William Samoei Ruto have given me on anything that I've asked on the issue of persons with disability, including increasing our own budget of cash transfer from 380 million to 1.2 billion, and supporting all the activities and legislative framework of persons with disability to make life of persons with disability fair. I knew we are going towards an election in which I will be biased. I'll be biased towards Jubilee. I'll support because they have supported persons with disability whom I represented for 3 years. So I decided, since all persons with disability may not be in Jubilee, and as a statement, I should retire voluntarily, leave the position for another Kenyan who may have even more abilities than me, and for myself, I go and concentrate on the campaign of a political campaign of Jubilee, to bring Jubilee into leadership, because I've seen their fruits. I've seen electricity connectivity. I've seen women who are very poor not paying maternity fee. I've seen our children go to school from poor background, not paying any school fees. Now they were introducing the secondary school, free secondary school, and I've seen even mad houses, those manyatas, being connected to electricity for the first time in history. I had a biased mind. But you know, I cannot take that biased mind to the disability fraternity, because I don't know from which angle do they see also things. They may also be biased towards ODM. And I cannot force all of them into Jubilee. I can only convince them. But I cannot convince them as their chairman, because I will be dictating to them. And that is why I retired voluntarily after serving for a one term of 3 years. Because even Mandela served for one term as a president. Yes, some of these positions are they were very sweet. And the allowances that come with it are also very sweet. The power as a chairman of National Council for Persons with Disability, you know, mark the word national, it's the whole country. It's also very sweet and economically appealing. But you know, as a Democrat, we have to sacrifice something, because democracy is the best way to go. And that is why I retired voluntarily. So for me, and in fact, I went to Mount Kenya. I climbed Mount Kenya with my crutches, which was very difficult for me.
I remember that.
But I decided that I have to go up there and put the flag of National Council for Persons with Disability, because there is where the Jubilee administration have placed persons with disability in terms of advocacy. There was a time the president recognized me as a hero in this country on behalf of 6 million Kenyans with disability, because they overcome a lot of challenges to reach wherever they are. For a person with disability on a wheelchair to attend a day school and finish class 8, there must be a lot of sacrifice. One, when there is rain, they will be rained on because they cannot run. So the first lesson, they will be dry. Second, toilets are not accessible. The wheelchair cannot enter into the pit latrine of primary schools. So they must crawl into that toilet. And when they crawl, they use their own palms to touch on the soil floor, which is soiled. Sometimes it's so dirty. And the same arms are the ones they will be using to eat. You know, even if we are person with disability, we have some little pride left in us. So sometimes this person's self-esteem is low. The first lesson is actually not to listen to the teacher, but to see themselves as if they really human beings. And so there is a lot of struggle. So when the president joined the advocacy, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is the only and the first president in the whole world to join the advocacy for persons with disability and recognizing persons with disability as heroes in their own country.
Actually, talking of persons with special needs, the First Lady spoke about it yesterday and said that there is an urgent need for legislation and policies that will deal with the issues of people living with special needs. You're in Parliament right now.
Yes.
Touches on legislation and by extension policy, Mheshimiwa.
Yeah.
What kind of leadership will you steer forward to ensure that this is realized?
First of all, when I was the chairman of the National Council for Persons with Disability, I was not in Parliament. So there were policies that I would have wanted. But they were difficult for me because I was outside the house that make laws. But because of the collaboration between me and the Jubilee administration, the president and his deputy, I used to write to them and let them put like a presidential directive. And I can give you 3 presidential directives that changed the lives of persons with disability in this country. One of them was the directive that persons with disability, students with disabilities, should be given ample time and enough space to do their exams, what we call adaptable exams. And it was a presidential directive to the Ministry of Education, that time led by Matiang'i, which was implemented immediately. And after implementation, it was the person with disability in the KCPE who led this country. Yeah, Kakuya. He led the country because of that particular presidential directive. Because there are persons with disability who write using their leg. There are persons with disability who don't have arms. They write using their mouth. So they are slower in writing. And the handwriting are larger. So they need more space. And when I went to the president, my friend, I went to the president and I told him, okay, I've come today with only one thing. Please write for me your name. He told me, what is it, Sankok? Gambia, write your name. So he took a pen, you know, he's left-handed. So he tried to write with his left hand. I told him, no, there's somebody without arms. So write using your mouth. He only managed to write you, and the whole foolscap was filled. And he gave a presidential directive immediately. Now, there were so many other presidential directives. So, for me now, is to, first of all, to make sure that these presidential directives are made into law. You know, there is also a difference between a presidential directive and a law. And because that time I was not accessible to Parliament, I'd used a lot of presidential directives. Now, I'm in Parliament. Those presidential directives, we can now legislate them into law. So, that is one thing. And then the other issue is that we ratified the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability in 2008, meaning we have domesticated it into our laws. There are articles in the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability that we have not aligned to our constitution. We have not aligned into our Act of Parliament, Persons with Disability Act of Parliament of 2003. And that's why at the moment we are in the process of amending the Persons with Disability Act of 2003, Session Paper 14, to make sure that we align it with the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability. The other very important directive, is the directive for AGPO, access to government procurement opportunities, in which 30% of our government procurement opportunities are set aside for women, youth, and persons with disability. Persons with disability are there. And let me tell you, in the whole world, it is only Kenya that mention persons with disability in the access to government procurement opportunities.
Every time I Google your name, in a bid to understand you more, to get more information about this member of parliament, I come across a piece of information that you have survived assassination attempts thrice. Is it true?
My brother, you know, you can take me back, and I don't normally want to look back. But let me tell you, I was a SONU chairman in the year 2000.
In Nairobi University.
In Nairobi University. I was the SONU president. The only medical student to have a led SONU. The only Maasai to have a led SONU. The only person with disability to have a led SONU. So in 3 in 1. Comrade power. So at that particular time when I was a SONU chairman, there was introduction of parallel degree program. And I realized this commercialization of education. I also realized the government get their own workforce from the universities. And when they commercialize now education, when they charge their own workforce while training them, they will come back and demand higher salaries. So I knew there will be bloated wage bill. And I predicted this one in a KTN interview, that we will have a bloated wage bill in a country. I predicted that we will produce civil engineers and architects we will build buildings that will collapse. I predicted that we will produce doctors who are half-baked, who will open skulls while it was not necessary for them to be open. I predicted a lot for this country. But you know, that time, I was punished for seeing what Matiang'i and the whole country is now seeing on the open. Because you cannot force people to invest on education. Nowadays, for a parallel degree program in the University of Nairobi, medicine costs around 4 million. So 4 million is a building. And unlike a building, this is a building that you have put into your brain, which if you die with it. You know, an investment in a building, you can even if you don't get your money back very soon, you don't care, because if you die, it will be inherited by your children. But you know, this 4 million that you have put into your brain, you must get it back before you die. Because if you die, you go. Yes, and how unajuaje utakufa lini? So that is why they are asking the government, pay us our investment before we die. Nobody knows. With those road accidents, HIV, AIDS, and other calamities, cancer, and Al-Shabaab, you know, you need your money back, because it's a risky business. And that's why I told them, we cannot commercialize education. We cannot say a D, ukiongeza pesa, inakuwa A. And A, bila pesa, inakuwa D. No, it is not possible. And I vehemently rejected. And that's why they suspended me. In fact, they suspended me for a total of 15 years. But you know, God is not asleep. One, the regime changed in 2002. Kibaki came in. And Kibaki came in also as a person with disability. Alikuwa kwa wheelchair. You know, hata hiyo yake kwa wheelchair. It was like a wheelbarrow. So when he came in, now you saw the problems of person with disability. By February 2013, he had already suffered a lot of challenges of disability. Hadi akasema wabile Kiweta alifukuzwa University of Nairobi, rudisheni yeye na wenzake. That is how we got presidential amnesty, and we went back to the university and completed our degree. But let me assure you, I rejected parallel degree program. And during that time when we were fighting for against parallel degree program, there was 3 assassination attempts. One in Thika Road, another one at a place called Total, towards Eldoret, and another one at Suswa. And that was the last one, and that was what made me run to Nuri, because I saw now, I can't survive anymore. Because that day, they banned my shop. You know, I had a small shop. So they banned at night. I came out without crutches, without clothes. Wamama ndio walikuwa wananikimbilia kunifunika na leso. From there, I had nothing. And I was already married. I had a daughter. I had a wife. And we had nothing at all. My life went to zero. You see? And even clothes, I had to borrow. There was somebody called Jaluto. I borrowed a trouser from him. And he gave me a Codra trouser, which was very big. Somebody else gave me karaoke, gave me a t-shirt, which was like Tumpokat, because he's a small, tiny guy. So it was like a Tumpokat. And the following day, they had to take me to Kijabe so that I can get crutches, because they were also bad. So when they were taking me, I had to use 2 people as crutches, one from this side and another one from this side. When we were crossing that highway of Maimayo, yes, now there was a trailer coming and hooting. They lifted me up and rushed me out. But you know, when they lifted me, now the trouser went down. So
it was too big.
Because it was too big. So I was taken and I told them, wapi trouser, wapi suruali. So they took me to the akaenda kuniangalia kwa kiosk, nikiongoja, and rushed me out. But you know, when they lifted me, now the trouser went down. So
it was too big.
Because it was too big. So I was taken and I told them, wapi trouser, wapi suruali. So they took me to the akaenda kuniangalia kwa kiosk, tukiongoja traffic ishe. You know, I was seeing my trouser, but it was under the vehicles now. Traffic kwanza ipite wakiangalia mpaka wakaenda kuniletea.
Trouser iko chini.
Trouser iko chini. Iko chini. Sasa wakaenda kuniletea bwana. Na unajua sasa ukiomba trouser huwezi omba ile ingine. Sasa iko tu empty. Like those are the challenges that make us strong. I believe so.
Absolutely.
So those are the past now, and I'm a very happy man now. Because since the coming of Matiang'i and the destruction and total elimination of leakages in our KCSE, now we have those who qualify to pursue university degrees, which is a C+ and above, are 86,000. And our regular program can accommodate 96,500. So all of them can be accommodated in regular degree program. It is the death of parallel degree program.
You know what, Mheshimiwa? A lot is credited to you, courtesy of the work you've done, persons living with special needs, also courtesy of your recent political commentary since you joined the House. I think there's more interesting facts and issues to learn from you when it comes to your personal life.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing my research and I know a couple of things here and there, but we have to do this again another time. Your time nitakuita ukuje ready to be ambushed with anything.
No problem,
Yes.
no problem, no problem.
Yes, but,
Mdomo yangu haikuanga na speed governor. Uniite, yuko tayari.
That's
Because
a
those are the
concern
facts.
for
You know the problem normally we have is when you try to lie. Because when you try to lie, it will be difficult because you have to create something. But when you talk the truth, they are there.
Right.
So you just reproduce them. Yes. Yeah.
His message to the country being accept and move on together as a nation, courtesy of the handshake. And what was your message again to Sosion?
My friend, talk with the teachers so that you guys can come together to an understanding. I don't know the working of NAT, because NAT is not a government organization. Parliament is a government, of course, an arm of government. So some of us also work as members of parliament, and we are business people. So when you are in the private sector, you don't know the line between now working with the private sector as well as.
Wacha nikusaidie.
Yes.
Wacha nikusaidie. Sosion learned from the president and Raila. Kutaneni na walimu, salimianeni.
In fact, for me and Sosion, we had met severally. We have shaken our hands, and today I've shaken your hand. Kenyans should shake their hands with everybody.
Thank you so much for coming. It's always a pleasure, and thank you for watching the show this morning. My name is Samuel Njoroge. On behalf of the entire production crew that has made this production a reality, and of course my colleagues Safina Cheng and Brenda Zeda Radido, we do wish you a blessed Wednesday. See you tomorrow for Entertainment Thursday.
And rush me out. But you know, when they lifted me now, the trouser went down. So
It was too big.
Because it was too big. So I was taken and I told them, wapi trouser, wapi suruali. So they took me to the akaenda kuniangalia kwa kiosk. Tukiongoja traffic ishe. You know, I was seeing my trouser, but it was under the vehicles now. Traffic kwanza ipite wakiangalia mpaka wakaenda kuniletea.
Trouser iko chini.
Trouser iko chini. Iko chini. Sasa wakaenda kuniletea bwana. Na unajua sasa ukiomba trouser huwezi omba ile ingine. Sasa iko tu empty. Like those are the challenges that make us strong. I believe so.
Absolutely.
So those are the past now, and I'm a very happy man now. Because since the coming of Matiang'i and the destruction and total elimination of leakages in our KCSE, now we have those who qualify to pursue university degrees, which is a C+ and above, are 86,000. And our regular program can accommodate 96,500. So all of them can be accommodated in regular degree program. It is the death of parallel degree program.
You know what, Mheshimiwa? A lot is credited to you, courtesy of the work you've done, persons living with special needs, also courtesy of your recent political commentary since you joined the House. I think there's more interesting facts and issues to learn from you when it comes to your personal life.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing my research and I know a couple of things here and there, but we have to do this again another time. Your time nitakuita ukuje ready to be ambushed with anything.
No problem, no problem, no problem.
Yes, but,
mdomo yangu haikuanga na speed governor. Uniite, yuko tayari.
That's
Because those are the
concern
facts.
for
You know the problem normally we have is when you try to lie. Because when you try to lie, it will be difficult because you have to create something. But when you talk the truth, they are there.
Right.
So you just reproduce them. Yes. Yeah.
His message to the country being accept and move on together as a nation, courtesy of the handshake. And what was your message again to Sosion?
My friend, talk with the teachers so that you guys can come together to an understanding. I don't know the working of NAT, because NAT is not a government organization. Parliament is a government, of course, an arm of government. So some of us also work as members of parliament, and we are business people. So when you are in the private sector, you don't know the line between now working with the private sector as well as.
Wacha nikusaidie.
Yes.
Wacha nikusaidie. So Sion learn from the president and Raila. Kutaneni na walimu, salimianeni.
In fact, for me and Sosion, we had met severally. We have shaken our hands, and today I've shaken your hand. Kenyans should shake their hands with everybody.
Thank you so much for coming. It's always a pleasure, and thank you for watching the show this morning. My name is Samuel Njoroge. On behalf of the entire production crew that has made this production a reality, and of course my colleagues Safina Cheng and Brenda Zeda Radido, we do wish you a blessed Wednesday. See you tomorrow for Entertainment Thursday.